truth is the truth, period. But this one here is going to be the truth or isn't, or is not the truth. But some kind we have to be truth, or is it not the truth? That's it. The truth or is it not the truth? Think for you. Think for you. Think for yourself. So, here we go.
Our country is headed in the wrong direction. And I am not here to make a political speech. You may or may not agree with that, but polling indicates that most of our fellow citizens think the country is headed in the wrong direction. You may think that the country is headed in the right direction, but you think we ought to go at a quicker pace. So what I want to share with you this morning is equally applicable no matter what. If my people, who are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, and I will hear from heaven and forgive their sin and heal their land. First time I saw that passage, it was sent to me by a friend of Pastor Hamlet's and mine, Dr. Ed Young, in Houston, Texas, sent that to me, and my eyes immediately went to the very first part of that verse. If my people. That verse is directed to the very same people who founded and defended and furthered and nurtured this country. It is directed to you. And I want you to do something for me. I want you to think right now, in your own lifetime, has the influence of the government gone up or down, and has the influence of the church gone up or down? Because from where my vantage point, the influence of the government is going up and the influence of the church is going down. I want you to read something. I want you to read something called the Melian Dialogue. And it's a conversation, it's a dialogue between the people, the Melians, the people from Melos, and the Athenians. They were about to wage war against each other. Athens was huge and powerful. The Melians were small. And there's a dialogue, there's a debate between the Athenians and the Melians. And the Melians were having to decide whether or not to surrender and capitulate, or whether or not to fight, even though they knew they were going to lose. There's no way the Melians could beat the Athenians. Every commonsensical notion told them to surrender or partner with the Athenians. So there's a dialogue back and forth. The Melians were pure. The Melians were idealistic. And then the Melians were destroyed. What do you believe in enough to lose? What do you believe in enough that you would move forward, even if you knew that you were marching forward to a certain defeat? I want you to read the Melian Dialogue. It's short. I made every employee in the district attorney's office read it. And then I asked them two questions. Which do you value more, truth or freedom? And every single person in my office said freedom. And I said, okay, which do you value more, unity or diversity? And every one but one said diversity. Look, truth and freedom are both really important. But at some point, you and your generation have to ask yourselves, what is the benefit of the freedom to be wrong? Do you really value freedom more than truth? Do you even think there is a truth? But we are, after all, the United States of America. So what is it that unites us? So I'll go back to the verse, and I think, well, is there an answer in that verse? If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray.
Man, y'all use that to the benefits of y'all with that bullshit, man.
Wicked ways. Well, maybe there's a start. Can we at least agree that there is good and bad? Or is everything relative? For 16 years, I never once stood in front of a jury and tried to convince them that murder was wrong. Never once. I never tried to convince a jury that robbery was wrong, that discrimination was wrong, that mistreating children was wrong. So there is a source of unity. There is a code by which we all have agreed to live. What is the source of that code? And if you are in that group that wants a better future than the present you are experiencing, if you don't like this disunity, if you don't like this sense of angst, if you don't like what seems to be forcing you to be detached and cynical about your country and your government, then you got to do something about it. You got to figure out what you believe, and more importantly, you got to figure out why you believe it. It is never enough in politics or any other sphere of persuasion to simply tell people what you believe. You have to tell them why you believe it. Do you believe in respect for the rule of law? Let me tell you something.
What do you need? With pleasure. I will be in touch.
An equalizing force that we have in this country. It is the only thing that makes the richest person in this county drive the same speed limit as the poorest person. It is what makes the richest person in Virginia pay his or her taxes on precisely the same day as the poorest. So if you don't like the direction of our country, or you want a better future, what do you believe, and why do you believe it? Secondarily, you can be the smartest person in the world, and if you can't communicate what you believe, you're not going to be very successful. So you do need a message, and that message better be why you believe what you believe, but you also need a very effective manner or method of communication. In other words, you need to learn how to persuade. How do you persuade in life? Facts, authenticity, credibility. You want to persuade, change people's minds to come around to your way of thinking on whatever issue it is, and I don't care about your politics. They're none of my business. You have whatever politics you want. But I will tell you what doesn't work: insulting people.